Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on DC TV, and this is actually going to be my trailer breakdown for the Stargirl trailer, the first official trailer that was released yesterday from when these videos coming out. So yeah, let's actually watch that trailer.
Starman, are you there? Starman!
The Justice Society must live on. Someone with honor must carry the torch.
I know this has been difficult. The move and a new stepfather, but we're gonna make a good life.
Hey, sorry, that's just real delicate.
What are you?
It's the cosmic staff. It's extremely temperamental. The staff's not supposed to work for anyone except Starman.
This has to be the reason the staff lit up. The staff chose me, and I choose you.
I never thought there'd be another Starman.
Stargirl.
Stargirl, new series coming spring 2020 on the CW.
So the first thing I do want to point out is actually the importance of Stargirl as a character. So Stargirl was created by Jeff Johns. Jeff Johns is like the mastermind behind this TV show. He's written a lot of the episodes. He's just, the guy behind it. Now Stargirl was actually based, or Stargirl or Courtney Whitmore was actually based off Jeff Johns' sister, who tragically passed away in a plane crash. So this character was based off that. It means a lot to Jeff Johns, so this show is going to have a lot of heart to it. So just keep that in mind when you're watching this show. Like, that's the inspiration behind this character, was this guy's recently passed away sister. So a lot of heart went into this character, a lot of heart's gone into this show, and I think they've done a fairly good job based off this trailer. So this trailer actually did debut during the Aftermath show on the CW, or the Crisis Aftermath show on the CW, following part 3 of Crisis on Infinite Earths yesterday, for when this video will come out. And with Stargirl and it now airing on the CW, this has been quite the journey, if you want to call it. As I'm sure a decent amount of you would already know, this was intended to be a DC Universe original, so that streaming service, and it will still air on our DC Universe, and we will come back to that in a second. But Stargirl was going to be the live action show that stood out the most in regards to how different it was to the other live action originals over on DC Universe, like Titans, Doom Patrol, and Swamp Thing. It was sort of going to be their first, family friendly show, if you want to call it, more like what the CW stuff is. So no excessive swearing or any swearing at all, no blood, any of that. But then it missed its start date. Instead, it swapped with Titans Season 2, and then the rumor came out that it was going to be coming to the CW, and though that rumor was attempted to be shut down by the quote-unquote insiders for Disney Universe, not Disney Universe, DC Universe information, it ended up being 100% true, and here we are. It is straight up being advertised as a CW show. The Twitter account is even Stargirl_CW, so that's pretty crazy. But in regards to the release of the show, it will air first on DC Universe, and then the day after it will air on the CW, and then be free on the CW app a few hours after that. So in regards to when it will start, I would expect April, maybe late March, but I'd say April. And I think it will take over Black Lightning's time slot when they wrap up their current season, because they're a shorter season compared to the other shows. But I'm sure we'll get news on that in the next month or so, hopefully. But yeah, let's get into the breakdown of the trailer. There's actually a decent amount to go over. I love this stuff. I love the JSA Stargirl stuff, so I've got some stuff to talk about. But of course, let me know your various opinions in the comment section down below about what you think of this trailer. Are you going to watch this show? Does it get you excited? What gets you excited? Various things like that. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video and you're looking forward to this show, why not drop a like on it to show your support and excitement. But we do start off the trailer with not Stargirl, but Pat Dugan, who is played by Luke Wilson, not Owen Wilson, so he can't meme the wow with his character. But yeah, Pat Dugan is in his car here trying to get in contact with Starman. Now in the comics, this car can fly. I will be interested to see if we get that on the show. I think I can't remember what it's called. It's like the Star Racer or something like that, or something along those lines. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. But this car can fly. So I wonder if we'll get that, or if they just have the car there and looking like this as a bit of an Easter egg. Anyway. But yeah, he pulls into what I think we can assume is the JSA, or Justice Society of America headquarters. I remember seeing set photos for Stargirl, and I think they were at this location, so I would assume it's the JSA headquarters, but I'm sure we'll find out early in the episode if that is the case or not. But when we see Pat Dugan run into the potential JSA HQ, we're met with, well, quite a mess. That's probably the best way to put it. Now, when he first pulled up to the place, you could see all like the green glowing stuff going on. And when we enter, you get even more of that, as well as a blast of electricity or some energy of sorts, whatever you want to call it. Now, these two things in here may hint at two of the villains in this season. So while we have the JSA playing a role in this season, the Injustice Society will also play a role as well. And at this current time, at least to my knowledge, we know of 4 members of the Injustice Society, for this season. The first 2 being Sportsmaster and Tigress, and the events going on in the house, firstly with the green stuff, could hint at Dragon King, and then that blast of energy or like electricity could be that of Brainwave. Now, there could be more members of the Injustice Society that do show up, whether they are in flashbacks or present day, but I think they will be one-offs or minor roles. I think those 4 I mentioned previously of Sportsmaster, Tigress, Dragon King, and Brainwave will be the main ones. And from what it looks like, we will also be meeting their children as well. So most of you might know the offspring of Sportsmaster and Tigress, that of course being Artemis Croc. Now, Dragon King has a daughter known as Shiv, who I think we will see throughout the season as well. And Brainwave, well, his son, Brainwave Jr., should feature as well. Now, in the comics, the offspring of all these villains aren't necessarily all bad like their parents. Some are actually good. I won't spoil who's good and bad out of the ones I mentioned. So that could be an interesting dynamic to play with throughout this opening season. But of course, in the house, we have a heavily injured Starman. Now, this is a very different Starman than what we're used to. And no, it's not because it's randomly being played by Joel McHale. I completely forgot he'd been cast in this role until I saw the trailer. I was like, oh, crap, that's right. He was cast as Starman, that's right. But it's because this Starman, don't turn Jamaican there for a second. Starman is actually Sylvester Pemberton, who was never Starman in the comics. He was the Star-Spangled Kid, and then later became Skyman. Like, Star-Spangled Kid is probably who he's best known as, I guess. I guess it depends what comic you're reading at the time. And that is sort of what leads into Stargirl. Like, she is that next iteration of the Star-Spangled Kid. So it's interesting that they went this way because both ways do lead into the JSA, but I guess the more traditional route is if it is, he is the Star-Spangled Kid. But Starman's suit is sort of like a mashup of Skyman, who Sylvester, as I said, becomes later in the comics, as well as just, I guess, what Stargirl's suit ends up being. But yeah, I guess maybe they wanted to make the importance of taking on the mantle of Stargirl much bigger for Courtney Whitmore, so they made it Starman over Stargirl that she inherits everything from. And I can understand that move, and also it seems she finds the cosmic stuff first, rather than the suit, and more importantly, the belt. But we'll come back to that in a second. But that might be the big reason behind making it Starman. Who knows? Maybe I'm thinking about it too much. But speaking of Courtney Whitmore, we see pretty much the whole origin of her playing out like it does in the comics. We see her moving from Los Angeles out to Nebraska. Obviously, she doesn't seem to be the biggest fan of the move. She'd probably give it maybe a 2, maybe 3 out of 10 if she was being generous in regards to a rating. Now, I don't know if anyone noticed this, but on the side of the moving truck when they're moving in, it has action in the same style as Action Comics, from back in the day with the DC stuff. So that's pretty cool. Nice little Easter egg there. We can see that she is with Pat Dugan, who is her stepfather. There's the connective tissue, and he will be along for the ride with Courtney and her journey into Stargirl. But we see Courtney almost drawn to the cosmic staff, which is in the same trunk. I guess you could call it that one of the movers knocked over at the beginning or towards the beginning of the trailer, and Pat sort of freaked out over. Now, as I was saying before, the trailer sort of makes out that Courtney finds the cosmic staff first and the suit and belt comes afterwards. That could be the case, but maybe she finds the belts at least first, and then that sort of forms a connection with the staff, and that's how she finds it. It's hard to tell based off this trailer, but belt first and then cosmic staff makes more sense to me rather than the other way around, but I'm sure we'll find out in this episode. But we do get some snippets of Pat Dugan explaining the cosmic staff to Courtney, as well as some shots of Courtney first going out with the staff. She's wearing a blue hoodie, which she does wear at other points in the trailer, as well as just something to cover her face. It is hard to tell if she's actually facing anyone, coming up against someone, or if she is just playing around with the staff. But regardless of what she is, out there doing, she does blow up a car. And just to point out, the cosmic staff is very powerful. This is a weapon that could easily take on Superman and Supergirl and all of them, and it also lets you fly, so that's pretty cool. But we do get the full debut of Courtney fully suited up as Stargirl, like we'll see her in this season, And the suit is how it should be. This is like the classic first interpretation of Stargirl with the shorts, and I think it's the best one to go for. It, you know, pretty much plays off the whole Star-Spangled Kid vibe. I think it's the best way to go. Now we see her taking on someone outside of Blue Valley High, which is the high school in which she will be attending. Now in regards to who she is taking on, I wasn't 100% sure at first because it was pretty dark, but then there is this shot of Courtney like blocking multiple objects that are being projected at her, you know, with her staff, and the guy she's taking on isn't doing it, you know, by picking him up and throwing them. He's doing them with his mind. This is telekinesis, so this is most likely brainwave. It will be interesting to see how this altercation happens. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that Courtney is using and I guess reactivating the cosmic staff. He might be able to sense it or read it or something along those lines. Like, the staff is very powerful, so in the wrong hands, who knows what it could be used for. But I was mentioning earlier that brainwave could have been involved with the death of Starman, so this could add more ferocity and feel to this first face-off. But we do end the trailer off with Courtney and Pat sitting down with him, like reminiscing over his past and his lost partner in crime fighting, if you want to call it. And we will see Pat create Stripe, or S.T.R.I.P.E. which stands for Special Tactics Robotic Integrated Power Enhancer. And this is a big armored suit that gives Pat super strength. He can fly with it, and he can also like shoot various like projectiles from it as well. Now, I'm not too sure not sure how often we will see this, just due to the budget, because it's a big robotic suit and there's going to be CGI involved, but it will be in the show. We know that for a fact, so at least we'll get it. So we'll get some Stars and Stripe action if you are familiar with the comics. And I actually have to add right now, after actually doing some editing, that you can actually see Stripe in the background. It goes really small because of the way that the CW did the trailer. Stripe is in the background. He's been defeated. He's like laying on top of a school bus, but Stripe is there. So they actually do get a good look at Stripe there, which I think is pretty cool. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all to talk about from this trailer. I'm looking forward to this show. Whether it was on DC Universe or CW, I was looking forward to it because I do like the JSA stuff. I really do like the Stargirl character. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to all of this. This is probably the show I was probably the most excited for coming out of DC Universe once like Titans came out and it was a bit different than I thought it was going to be. So yeah, Stargirl was always at the top of my list, and the trailer did not disappoint. I think Breck Bassinger, who's playing Courtney, is living up to the role and doing a very good job. So I'm excited to watch it. But of course, if you enjoyed the video, it would be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support. Let me know in the comments section down below your various opinions on the trailer. What do you think? What did you not like? Let me know any of them in the comments section down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.